This is the most controversial diet in the world. Some say it's the key to peak human performance and others just call it insane. So today I'm going full carnivore, nothing but meat, eggs, and animal fat for 24 hours to see what happens to my body. And at the end of the video, I'm trying the most expensive meat in the world. The very first thing we're gonna be eating today is some beef liver, which is the #1 multivitamin in the world. And because the only place in town that had it is Walmart, I do not trust eating this raw. Let's sear it so that it's actually edible. I've never eaten beef liver like this. I'm nervous because it has a very distinct smell. It doesn't smell great. It should be ready now. Let's try this. Doesn't taste good at all. It doesn't crumble in your mouth, but it's like very similar to that. I'll never be doing that again. Now let's go inside for the next meal of the day. Now we're gonna be drinking something known as bulletproof coffee. The ingredients are grass-fed butter. I'm gonna be adding roughly 1 to 2 tablespoons of butter, so like this much. I'm gonna be adding that into the blender and MCT oil.
Look at the color. It looks like a latte.
Look at the consistency of that. That's honestly really good. It just tastes like a creamy latte. So you can't really taste the butter at all, or at least I can't. My taste buds might be dead. So I'm gonna finish drinking this before our next meal. I just finished the coffee, and now for the first official meal of the day, we're gonna be having grass-fed steak with some pasture-raised eggs. There we have a nice little piece of steak. According to ChatGPT, you're supposed to dry it off, so that's exactly what we're doing. It always feels weird to grab meat like this. Here we go. 4-minute timer is set. I'm gonna do 4 minutes, 4 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. According to ChatGPT, that's how to perfectly cook a steak. While we have the steak cooking, I'm gonna start cooking the eggs too. This is most likely gonna cook the eggs extremely fast, so we have to be pretty quick with it. Egg. As you can see, I'm definitely not an expert at this whole process. Here. I have the classic wooden cutting board that everyone that posts videos about this uses. Let's see. This is not good at all. This is pretty undercooked. Look at this. That is rare, to say the least. It's literally raw. I'm still chewing it. Let's dig into these eggs that are not raw. I never eat this big of a breakfast. I'm gonna be stuffed after this. Let's put the steak in the oven so that it's not raw when I'm trying to eat it. I did tell you I was not a grill master, and this is exactly why. This is the exact reason why. Let's take this out. I'm hoping it'll be ready. Let's see if it's actually ready this time. Much better. Look at that, much better. That's how I like my steak. I'm gonna finish this and then head over to the gym. But something I'm super curious about is that because we're doing the carnivore diet right now, we're not eating any carbs, like any carbs at all, which is my primary source of fuel for my workouts. It also increases water retention in your muscles, which makes you look fuller and leads to a bigger pump. We're gonna be testing that today. Because we're not eating any carbs, I'm gonna measure my arms before the workout to see how much they grow by the end. If my arms don't grow by at least 1 inch, we'll know the effects are actually true. And since we're doing 6 exercises in total, after every 2 exercises, I'm gonna be measuring my arms to track the progress to see how close we are to growing by at least 1 inch. And because we are so carb depleted, it should be much harder to build a pump, but let's see if that's actually true. So now we're done with the first 2 exercises and done 3 sets of each. Let's measure my arms to see if we've made any progress. My arms have only grown so far by 1/10 of an inch, so they've barely grown. We're gonna have to make a lot of progress in these next 4 exercises if they have any chance of growing by more than 1 inch. I feel like I'm getting tired faster than I usually do, which is something that worried me going into this workout since I'm missing my primary source of energy that I usually get from eating carbs. I'm definitely starting to notice that my arms are giving out much faster than usual. And now I'm starting to face another problem because on top of feeling less energy, my arms are also starting to feel weaker. It's getting much harder to actually push this weight. I'm even having to lower the weight because I just can't do the weight I typically do. Like I literally feel weaker. Before we go on to the final two, let's measure my arms again to see if we've made any progress. We definitely made some progress on these two exercises because my arms have grown by ½ an inch so far, and the goal is 1 inch. And we only have 2 exercises left. By far the biggest difference I'm noticing is my strength. I'm using less weight than I typically do for all these exercises. Now for the last set, I even had to lower the weight for these because the weight was just too heavy. Since we are on the last set of the entire workout, I'm trying to go as hard as I can to be able to hit our target, even though my arms are exhausted. Yeah, I don't think I'm ever this sweaty for my workouts. Is it all the meat we've been eating and no carbs? Maybe. Let's measure my arms for the final time to see if they grew by at least 1 inch. To test if eating no carbs actually gives you a smaller pump. That's crazy. My arms grew by 0.75 inches. They did not grow by the full inch they usually do when I do eat carbs. The effects turned out to be real. Let's go eat our post-workout meal. And for our post-workout meal, we're gonna be having a bison sirloin steak, 100% grass-fed. I've never had bison steak. Looks very lean. First things first, we have to pat it down. Let's hope this process doesn't go like my last steak. That is what a bison sirloin looks like. Now that it's fully prepped, I asked ChatGPT how long you're supposed to cook it for. Let's hope that's enough. That's hot. It's ready. I'm very nervous as to how I cooked this. I don't know if I overcooked it or undercooked it. Oh, I think I overcooked it. Look at, maybe not. Look at that. What do you think? Is that overcooked or not? Let me see. I think this just tastes like a steak, like a beef steak. Like I can't tell any difference. I thought it was gonna taste like gamier. It's definitely really lean. Now that it's been a couple hours, it's time to cook the meal I've been most excited for all day. Look at what I have here. I have Wagyu beef patties, which I've never had. I've never tried any sort of Wagyu beef whatsoever, so I'm super excited. And then here I have ground venison. This is one of the leanest meats in the world, and this is the fattiest meat in the world. This has 5 times more fat than this. And look at the difference in color. Look at that. That's like a white pink, and this is just intense red. Dark purple red. That black pepper is hot. Because this is so lean, it's cooking extremely fast. Let's open up the Wagyu. Here we have the Wagyu patty. See how it's like light pink, a lot lighter than that. You're only supposed to lightly season this since it's already supposed to have a lot of flavor. That meat is so fatty and this one is so lean. Set a timer for 4 minutes. So that is the venison. I'm super excited to try this. I literally can't wait. Timer's up, now it's time to flip it. Oh, look at how crispy that is. Look at how good that looks. This is my first time eating and cooking this, so please don't get on me in the comments if it doesn't look like it should. It is finally ready. Look at that, nice little sear. The fattiest meat in the world versus the leanest meat in the world. Let's start with the venison, the leanest meat. I just taste very gamey and ultra lean. Just like super lean. I mean, there's not an ounce of fat on this. Now, let's try the fattiest meat in the world, some Wagyu. Ooh, not gonna lie, I think I cooked that pretty nicely. Look at that. Not bad. And then nice little sear on the outside. This one is much more buttery and flavorful. Way more flavorful than this. And part of this almost just like melts in your mouth. I've heard people say that, but I've never actually tasted it to see it, and it literally just melts in your mouth. So juicy too. Just because it has so much fat in it, it's so juicy. This is by far the tastiest meat of the entire day. Guys, I am stuffed. Literally so much protein.